What's good, family? Welcome to another episode of This Ain't Your Ordinary Podcast with your girl, Rissa G. How are y'all doing? It's been a hot minute. All right, so a few church announcements, as Kev on stage would say. I have the same camera, new camera stand, different angle, but it's so much. I don't know if this is proper English, but it's so much more work for me to look here than to look here because my notes are here, but you're here, you know? And also, I think one of my eyes are swollen. Now I have a little lazy eye, low key. But it's lazying more than normal. So I feel like it's getting swollen. I'm not going to tell you which one. Ooh. So when I look here, it highlights the eye more. So I'm giving y'all all the tea already. So that's how I'm doing. Yeah, and also the light looks weird on this. I don't even know what this is called. This beanie, whatever it's called. So it looks like it's dirty, but I want y'all to know I'm not dirty. It just looks like that, you know? All right. Now that's all. How y'all been, man? It's been a bit. I know. I hope you guys are taking care of yourself, being healthy. Winter and spring seem to be having a beef up here in New York. So I don't know. Is it spring? Is it still winter? We don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. People are still getting sick. COVID is still real. I be forgetting my mask, but like COVID is still out there. Like, y'all need to take care of yourselves. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've missed y'all, man. I have some good stuff coming for y'all. I'm trying to work it out with school and life. Just trying to fit good content in here for you guys. So don't worry. There's more coming. Okay, the end. Thank y'all for rocking with your girl. As always, grateful for the love and the support. Let's just jump right into our main segment. This isn't necessarily related to any specific thing. I know there's been so many mass shootings in the last few months, and just shootings in general. This isn't inspired necessarily by that. Just something interesting to talk about, the amount of gun violence that is going on in our country. Well, that has always been going on, and that is not getting better. Like, can we just it's not getting better? I have a couple of statistics here before I jump in. So there's been 113 mass shootings in the US thus far, according to CNN. CNN did a survey, and 66% of their population favored stricter gun laws. And then this is a poll from 2022, right? And another poll says 4 out of 10 people believe that the most recent gun legislation didn't do much to enact change. All right. My take on gun control is similar to many other things with this country. It's been here from the beginning. And I made this note that I think we should start with, because I think that tells the whole story. It does a great job of just summarizing the whole story. This country, the United States, was founded based on a revolution. In a revolution, you need weapons. For a war, you need weapons, right? Okay. So they're so gun-ho because that's your origin story. Your origin story is that y'all were sexist, y'all were racist, y'all were gun lovers, y'all were all the anti everyone else, because you felt like not for the racism and all that stuff, but in terms of guns specifically, you felt like you had to have that. And at that time, you had to have guns. It was a safety concern. You're trying to defend a country, create a new country. I mean, murder a whole bunch of people, but I'm just going with y'all's storyline, right? So it was necessary for the logic of starting a new country to have weapons. It's now been over 200 years later. We don't need all of these weapons. And I almost said, but that is true. And it might, like JoJo said, it might be a little too late because everybody and their moms and their grandmoms have guns. And it's so hard to now enact legislation when everyone has guns legally and illegally. The illegal part, it's already illegal. So what you finna do about something that's already illegal happening, that's been happening? Clearly the laws are not changing the fact that people are still doing it. Then how do you really, like, what is your plan? Because everyone wants stricter gun laws, but then people still want to have their guns, and then you have politicians in place who are truly representing their demographic. They want their guns. So I don't know. I don't know. There isn't an answer. This is not necessarily a problem solving podcast. This is just like, let's discuss the problems. I don't see necessarily a great solution, but that's up for the people who are paid by our taxes. In regarding to mass shootings, school shootings, and it's heartbreaking to know that going to school, this has been the conversation for years, going to school is equal to like an enormous safety issue, and it's not dependent on your area the school is in. Like, can we be clear, or can we talk about it? It's not dependent on that. Just the fact that you're in school puts you at a risk, and it shouldn't be that way. And you see these kids get access because more times than not they're younger. The shooters are typically younger. They get access to guns. Either they got it legally or they use guns that's in their home. How you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you lock down on that specifically? Okay, don't leave your guns out for your kids. But if you're 17, 18, 19 and it's a gun whole type of family, you probably know how to shoot a gun. You've probably been taught how to shoot a gun. Like, so you know what I'm saying? So it's so deeply integrated into cultures, right? So it's tough. It's not sure, look real wrinkly. Anyway, but it's tough. It's a tough position to be put into. And this is also goes into the conversation. I'm not going to spend much time here at all, but this is also why police officers need guns. I don't agree with what police officers be doing with their guns, and they need guns in a country where many people have access to guns. Imagine somebody come to the school and is threatening the school with a gun. Imagine calling a police officer who has no gun. We're all at the mercy of the person who has the gun. So really, like, the police will always have to have weapons to match what the country has. And America, for some reason, is just above and beyond other countries. I don't have the statistics up, but like in terms of shooting, it's so interesting, and I just don't see why we're so backwards in so many. I say I was born here. I'm an American. Unfortunately, whatever. But we have all these gun issues. And I'm gonna move my camera. We have all these gun issues, and compared to other countries, we don't necessarily, like, I don't understand really why it is we're so clingy to this thing. But then again, other countries have been established maybe for longer, so maybe they feel more secure. I don't know. I do know that the Second Amendment is almost, if not more important than the first for some people. Freedom to speak, man, as long as I have my gun, that'll speak for me. These are like real feelings, and it's unfortunate. I don't know if that is necessarily the root, though, of the mass shooting issue. I think gun control, let me be really careful here. I think gun control and mass shootings aren't necessarily connected. I'm going to be very careful here. I think if we look at these shooters, again, young, some have mental health illnesses, some don't. It just feels like you're taking out your anger on a people group. Some that may be a representation of someone who may have hurt you, or some are the people who have hurt you. I don't think that's a gun control issue. It's giving privileged, and I'm not even going to go to the racial aspect of it, but it is just giving. I can't work out my problems in a healthy way, so I'm going to go and take out my feelings on people. What? That's not a gun control issue. You know, gun violence is an issue in this country, but that is not specifically a gun thing. That's a mental thing, and that's what is going on at home type thing. And we live in an era where mental health is at the forefront of everything, but it still does seem like there's a disconnect in some spaces where you have kids thinking it's because it's their kids. They're thinking it's okay to go and shoot up a grocery store, to go and, well, I mean, that guy had a lot of things going on. I don't think that was a mental health issue. That was a heart issue. All of it, anyway. But I don't know. I think that is the root of it. I think it produces itself and it shows itself and presents itself as gun violence, but really at the root of it, there's a heart issue, but there's like a mind issue. Something's going on at home. You're struggling with something, or maybe you were bullied, all these different things. But you know how many people are struggling with something at home? You know how many people have been bullied, are being bullied? Like, you're not the only one to go through that. And I'm not trying to belittle or diminish someone's experience. I am saying, however, that experience can't be an excuse to murder people. Get help. And if you feel like there's no help, say that. I don't know. I'm really not trying to override these people's experience, but murder certainly cannot be the answer. It cannot be the way you express yourself. Murder cannot be the way you express yourself. And the fact that you think that's an option is an issue. I don't know if that's necessarily a mental health issue in every case. It's just, you think why did you think you could get away with that? What was the goal? Because some of these things are not murder suicide. They're just murder. Like, what was the goal? What was the intention? After you did that, did you feel less depressed? Like, I think that's where we need to go for these mass shooters. Like, what were you seeking to accomplish, and did you accomplish it? Because people are losing their lives. Kids have to be scared to go to school. They have to install all these protective factors for schools, and it's sad. Like, school is where you're supposed to go and, I guess, have fun and learn your ABCs, and instead you're focusing on, damn, any day now a shooter could pull up just because they're upset with their life. And again, not diminishing anyone's experience, but again, murder cannot be the answer. Murdering kids cannot be the answer. Murdering anyone cannot be the answer. Murder in general cannot be the answer. So that's just my little rant on that, because it is sad to see, like, I don't go to school in person right now, but I did for like my entire life up pretty much until 2020. And it wasn't necessarily a major fear because I wasn't really keeping up in the news and as a kid, but it was definitely a thought. And I remember this is it, I'm done with this, guys. I remember in elementary school, I forgot specifically what grade, a guy, I forgot what he did, but he was running from the cops and he had a gun, and he came on the school property, and like the cops were chasing him. Like, this is real life stuff. And I remember we had to go into lockdown, and my class, I think we were in gym or something at the time, we had to go under the school tables, the lunch tables, and like just stay there for a very long time. I don't want to drag, but I think it was hours. We ended up like having our like some snacks under there, and like the SWAT was running through the hallway. It was real. I think it might have been on the news. I think the guy dropped his gun in the parking lot. And I think a little part of that always stayed with me, but I think like I just like most things I've done, this is not healthy. I put it in a box because that was scary, but it was also like exciting as a kid. Like, oh my God, police is running through the hallways, triple G, you know what I'm saying? But looking back, like that, I don't know, that kind of stuck at the back of my mind, and I never encountered anything like that ever again. But it still is a scary experience to know that your kids and kids in general could be put in that position simply because someone is dealing with something, or because someone wants to break the law, or because someone feels like this is the most fun way to go about. I don't even know if it's fun. I don't know. I don't want to mislabel things. I don't want to say fun, but convenient, easy. I don't know. I can't even fully get my mind wrapped around some of these mass shootings. It's just disheartening, and it's sad to see. And you really don't know where you're safe, when you're safe. You gotta be real. We live in such a sensitive society. This is an off rant, but you gotta be careful how you talk to people in school, because it's a joke, but it's not. Like, you don't know who you're talking to. That person may be unstable, and that person could be a shooter. You really don't know. Like, you got to reject people in a really nice way, because next thing you know, they're shooting up the place. Like, you really, it's not even a joke. Like, you really just don't know nowadays, because everything seems to result in violence. Like, you don't even have permission to exist without violence, counteracting your existence. So anyway, this leads us to a new segment called Basketball Corner. I'm a basketball fan. I'm a basketball and football fan, but football season's over. And I just want to talk about basketball, and I just didn't know how to incorporate it. And funny enough, in this segment, I'm not even really going to talk about basketball that much. It's going to just be talking about a basketball player. But anyways, y'all be fine. Basketball Corner, talking about Ja Morant. I'm a little bit late, but not really. So Ja Morant, I'm going to act as though most of y'all don't know. Ja Morant is a basketball player. He plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's a starting point guard. He's a tremendous player, top 10 player. Great, right? I think the Gritty was like his famous little dance or whatever. And a few weeks ago, so many things are coming out. So he was accused of assaulting a young teenager who he was playing basketball with, and somehow it evolved, and he ended up going in the house and pulling out a gun and like having the gun in his waist and like showing the kid that, allegedly. There was another instance where like his mom was at a store, and like something wasn't going right with the store, man. I don't know. And she called up Ja, and Ja pulled up with his squad. Like, I think they wanted to fight the people at the store. It was a sneaker store. And then this specific instance, Ja was at a strip club, I believe, and he went on his Instagram Live and he showed the world and his Instagram followers, again, like he flashed in like he was cheesing, right? He did all that willingly. So I think what came from that, like he was like suspended for like 8 games, which is bizarre. And then he did an interview saying like the gun wasn't his, and gun violence is serious, and he takes that very seriously. But I'm not gonna assume, I'm not gonna speculate. I'm just gonna just take the information given to me. I think Ja's 23 or 24. I don't know Ja's life. I don't know if he about that life. I don't know. I don't know if he has people around him who's about that life. I don't know. But what I do know is he needs to be very careful. If I was him, I wasn't going to do the interview, because in the interview, you're now coming out with a narrative that you have to live by. Before he came out, it could have been, yeah, that's Ja's gun. Like, yeah, he was being reckless with the gun. He's going to get help, or whatever the help looks like. He's going to seek counseling. This is what he is actually doing. However, that helps, and he's going to be better. Now you're going to come out and say, oh, that wasn't my gun. I take these things very seriously. This is not something I joke around with. Sir, you went on your Instagram live and you showcased a gun, Kikikian. You allegedly showed a kid you were playing basketball with a gun in a threatening way. You're kind of setting yourself up for failure. If it were me, I would just be like, yeah, like that's me. Like that is my character, and I understand that is not conducive to who it is I want to be or who it is the league wants me to be. Maybe Ja don't want to beat that person, and that's fine. That is his choice. But say that. Don't say like, oh, what I have just done, that was somebody else, or that was with someone else's gun. Like it's to me, it kind of removes a sense of accountability from you and puts you in a very interesting position, because now moving forward, people are going to hold you to your words. That's just me. I wasn't going to say all of that. Even if it's true it wasn't your gun, okay, that could be worse. So whose gun you be flashing to people and threatening people with? And you just be taking people's gun and like literally, it wasn't just like let me show you a gun in a safe setting. It's so cool. No, it was like very haphazardly. So, very irresponsible, very immature. I'm not really buying it. It doesn't feel like it'll stick. If anything, he'll be more. That's the thing too with getting caught. When you get caught doing something wrong, you have a choice, right? Like, should I change whatever is behind this behavior, or should I just change the behavior? And I think Ja is going to change the behavior. And just because he changes the behavior doesn't mean he is changing what is behind it. And whatever is causing him to do these things, it could just be immaturity or just senselessness. If he's not addressing that, it won't stick. And yeah, that's what he really needs to work on, what he needs to address. Like, you made a mistake, no one got hurt, thankfully, because that is reckless to be messing around and playing with a gun in a public, it don't matter where you are, in a public space. And I hope he learns from this truly, and I hope he changes what's behind this behavior. Whether it's an ego thing, whether it's a validation thing, whatever it is, bro, you're human. Like, heal, grow, but don't just change the behavior so it could fit whatever the NBA wants you to be. Don't do that. That's not the answer. Certainly cannot be the answer, my man. So yeah, I hope that works out. I hope he does get help. And yeah, even if you bout that life, my boy, you made it. You made it. So anyways, that's that. Yeah, I think that's about it for, I feel good about that. So this is probably a short episode, y'all. These next few episodes might be a bit shorter. I'm doing less content on each of them, trying to spread out a bit more, spread the wealth, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm also, I don't think I'm feeling well. I think I might be sick, honestly, but it's fine. The next couple episodes, my eye may be a little puffy and I may be a little drained, but I got y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining this episode. Comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. I love you guys. Be good, be well. Peace.